Hey guys, it is Friday, November 18th, 2022, and I'm back for Free App Fridays. Every Monday and Friday, I bring you guys free music production applications to help you with your musical adventures and endeavors. All right, guys, so we're going to jump right into it. We are continuing with the month of November 2022 being themed with free filters and free EQs. So let's jump right into it. The free app for this Friday, November 18th, 2022 is as follows. So first up here, we have some filters. We got a lot of plugins to go through today. I'm going to go through some of the stuff that's been released also for the past, I guess, 2 weeks, 10 days to 2 weeks, outside of just EQs and filters. Also, there's some nice synths that's been released. So first up, we have multi-filter. This one is not much to look at, but it is out there. It has two different frequency types here, frequency ranges. So I'm guessing like high pass, low pass, and then you have the switches here for them. Pretty straightforward and very utilitarian. Next up, we have cadence. This one is kind of like the same. You have the one band here. You can set your frequency cutoff range. Then you set the type of filter. We have low pass, high pass, band pass, and I don't know what that other one is. Band REJ. Maybe it's a shelf or something. I don't know, or some special kind of curve. But then you have your resonance knob right here, so you could dial in your resonance, how steep that curve is, how wide or how steep it is. Next up, we have distortion, which is a filter combined with distortion. Pretty self-explanatory. We have modulation on this one, and you have your high pass, your low pass, and then you dial in the amount of distortion that you want. So if you're looking for some filter along with distortion, which is common, very common to do, it is a vibe, it is a specific sound. Distortion will give you that. Next up, we have DD filter from Dead Duck Software. This is from a bundle, and this one, once again, very basic, very utilitarian, which, you know, filters can be very basic because it is a basic concept. So this one has the different band selections, the type of curve you want, band pass, high pass, low pass, band stop, and then they have preset frequencies here. And that's pretty much it. Sorry, these are the curves over here. The curve, dB per octave curve. So how drastic your curve is over here, and you select your frequency right there with that knob. Next up, we have dirty filter, which is another one that's adding some kind of distortion along with your filter. You have resonance knob here, wet, dry, gain, the filter knob, so on and so forth. Next up, we have another one. Now this one is called dirty filter, and this one is BPB dirty filter. So this one is from Bedroom Producer Blog. Those are the developers for this one, and pretty much the same situation. There's a high pass, there's a low pass filter. They have volume control over here for you to do some gain matching, or if you want to increase the output volume. And then we have drive. You push in the drive, you can add some more distortion on that. Am I still streaming? It seems like I am. Why is my phone off? Give me a second here, guys. Here we go. All right, so next up we have the EQs. We got a bunch of them to go through. Most of these EQs are going to be kind of rack emulation, looking like something you would see physically in a studio rack. So first up, we have SL84, and this one has a very specific look and what it's trying to emulate, but it's pretty straightforward. You have your three bands here in the middle. There is high pass, low pass there. You have your input gain, and you select your frequencies there. That's pretty much it. Next up, we have SSQ. This is from Analog Obsession. I have a couple from Analog Obsession because that's kind of what they do. So we have this one here. should be mimicking like an SSL type look, and pretty straightforward stuff. High pass, low pass. You have 4 different band areas outside of your high pass and your low pass filters. And you know, because it has that design of kind of a rack interface, you have each band is kind of relegated to a specific range, so this allows it to have a very specific tone quality whenever you use these type of EQs. So next up we have Blend EQ from Analog Obsession again, and the special thing about this one is that it is combining 2 different emulations of EQs. I think one is a Neve and one might be an API, if I'm remembering correctly. It's all in their notes for the program, the manual, so its specifics are there, so don't quote me on that. But the big thing about this is for each band, these red knobs can blend from the N-type to the A-type plugin and in between, so you can get a mix of tones with the emulation for each band, or for one individual band you can lean more towards the N-type emulation or the A-type emulation, or a little bit more N than A, so it gives you some versatility with the toning. There's a high pass, low pass filter, there's an input knob and an output knob, so you can drive it in more, and you can also still match your output volume. So it comes with all the bells and whistles. Pretty interesting if you're looking for a specific sound and tone. Now this one is another one from Analog Obsession. I've talked about this one before, and this one is Frank. Reason why it's called Frank, because it is a Frankenstein of an EQ where every band is emulating a different type of iconic physical hardware. So I think these 2 bands here, this one and this one, should be emulating a Pultec. I know this one looks like it's emulating a Neve or maybe an API, one of them, and I don't know what this one is, but it's all in the information. With all the Analog Obsession plugins, if you click on the logo tag here, the Analog Obsession, click on that, it will turn on oversampling. I think it's like 8 times oversampling if you need that, and there's an input and an output knob. Next up from Analog Obsession again, we have OAQ. This one, if I'm remembering correctly, does the dual emulation thing also. This is a mid-side EQ, also should have a mid-side function to it. They have set selectable frequencies. And yeah, I think the top and the bottom are 2 different emulations. I think it's something like that. But definitely it does have mid-side, and it has some drive. So you can get some emulation going, some saturation in on that one. And this one here is from Voxengo. It's the TEQ 421. Very straightforward. Just 3 bands and 3 set bands, and then they have gain output, so you can kind of balance that out. And that's it for the EQs, guys. So now for this week, well, the last 10 days I should say, we've had some new releases, so I'm gonna go through these really quick. I'm not gonna try and go through any details. I haven't checked out all of these yet. We have Sect. I definitely want to check this one out. I don't know how many presets it comes with, but it looks interesting. Next up we have Black Metal Keys. I was checking this one out last night. The sounds are very interesting. They have a couple of presets, not a lot, but the ones that they have are very, very good, very usable, very nice vibe, nice layering, nice richness to the sound, and they kind of spark my creativity. Just playing around with some chords with them. So it has 11 patches, strings, 5 strings, 3 choirs, 1 pad, 1 pipe organ, and 1 piano, and they all have a very specific vibe to it. Very familiar, very inviting sounds. Next up we have Pex, and this is from Full Bucket Music. They always make pretty good synths, so this is a new synth that they've added to their collection. It's saying here that it has recreated 8 original presets. I don't know how many presets total. I think it has way more than that, if I remember correctly. But Full Bucket Music, their sounds are always pretty good. It has kind of like a vintage vibe to it, 80s. And this one is no different, but it has a lot of good usable sounds. This is next up we have Little, I want to say Little, but Little 3P. This is a light version to the full version that they have. I checked this one out also. Be careful when you are installing it. Make sure you follow the instructions on the website properly, because you'll end up installing it in demo mode if you don't. Pay close attention to the instructions. So I checked this one out. It's very synthy, very synthy. It has some nice sounds, but it is very, very synthy. It doesn't have like that those organic lush sounds. It's very synth-based sounds. So for those who are looking for that type of sound, this one has this in abundance. I think it has probably like about 100 presets. And last up we have UJam's USynth Drive. So this one is very interesting. I started checking this one out last week. I love the interface. I love the functionality of the interface. And what's going on is you have 2 different sounds being layered together. You can kind of balance the levels of them and some of the tonality of how they blend together. There is a sequencer section over here where you can get some interesting things done, some interesting movement and sequences to the sound. There's a good amount of presets, and you can actually select single sounds, the different combinations that you want also, and kind of tweak them to your liking. And then at the finisher end is where they have a set of like 4 plugins. Sometimes it'll be 1, sometimes it'll be 2, sometimes it'll be 3, depending on the presets. And then you can kind of blend them. So you can see in this image, they have like chorus, flangers, EQs, reverbs, all that stuff. And they all kind of blend together, and you can kind of tweak them a little bit. Not as much as if you had the full version, but the sounds are very lush, very, very usable. So definitely check those out. And that's it for the whole list of plugins for today, guys. A bunch. Definitely check these out. If you're all looking for EQs, a ton of EQs, looking for filters, a bunch of filters, and you got some synths there. So definitely check those out. You know about the other links. Check out the other links. I'm not going to go through that right now. The video has been going on for a while now. I'm going to wrap this up and get back to work. So check back on Monday for Free App Mondays as we continue with the month. It's almost over. Continue with the month of November being themed with free EQs and free filters. I got a bunch more for you guys before the month is out, so definitely check back. Thanks for watching, guys, and as always, you will see me in the next video.